All right, next up, former Reagan economic advisor Art Laffer is going to join us. What does he say about all that's going on now? He's smiling now. Will he smile in the next block when he's on the TV? We'll see. Back in a moment.
There is sort of a...
In this present crisis, government is not the solution to our problem. Government is the problem.
Oh, I remember it well. Government is the problem, never the solution. Art Laffer was a Reagan economist, helped with the Reagan tax cuts, and he joins us now. Art, my premise is that after the mess on Friday, a divided Republican Party, tax cuts and that package is either going to be delayed and or watered down. I don't know why you're smiling, because I'm right. Go.
Well, you know, first place, you got me smiling because watching Karl Rove speak Mandarin Chinese was a riot. And then you say, I wonder if he's going to be smiling. So I was going to come on with you, Stuart, and go,
Good luck.
but I decided better much. You had Reagan first, and when you ever have Reagan, I'm always smiling.
That's
so
true.
that's, you know, we've been in this administration, what, 64 days or something? You know, 1/6 of a year of a 4-year term. You remember, life is a marathon. It's not a sprint, Stuart. And we're going to come out of this just fine.
Wait a second,
I
Art,
wish they
on.
hadn't done all this stuff.
Look, I admire your optimism. I really do. But this Republican Party is split. And now we've faced tax reform, and they're split on tax reform. Some of them want the border adjustment tax. Some of them don't want the border tax adjustment. They are split. What do you say?
I don't want the border tax adjustment. I don't think it's the right thing to do. But in a whole package, if you look at the whole thing and make a decision as to whether the whole thing's better than nothing, you know, Reagan always said it, getting 80% of something is better than losing all of it. And, you know, the point here is that we will come together. It's just early in this administration. We didn't get our real tax bill until '86, where we dropped the highest rate from 50% to 28%. Can you imagine that? That was 1986. So I'm not worried about it now. But I am very glad. I'm glad that Trump is reaching out to the conservative Democrats. I know them very well. And they have talked to me a number of times, a number of them have, and they want to be part of the tax process. And frankly, some of these Democrats are very, very good. And I think Mnuchin and the president and all of the team there should work with the Democrats in the House.
Wait a second. How on earth are you going to get any Democrat in the House or the Senate to agree to significant cuts in individual tax rates, in corporate tax rates? They will never agree to anything like that.
That's
really?
not true. That's just not true. I know a number of the Democrats there, and it's a large group, Stuart, maybe 40, 45, 50 of them, who really think the corporate tax rate is way, 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 way too high. Now, they're going to demand some compromises and some other stuff, probably a carbon tax offset for cutting the income tax rates or something like that. But I know a number of the Democrats would be willing to trade a carbon tax for cutting personal income tax rate, static, revenue neutral. And I would do that deal every day of the week and twice on Sunday myself.
Okay.
I think it's very good pro-growth. So I don't see any reason why not to bring the Democrats in, at least some of them, and not the weirdies, not the Hoyers or the Pelosi's. Or,
Before you go, don't go too far off base here.
Yes, sir.
Stay there for a second. Got Peter Kernan with me. You think it's possible to bring Democrats into this sort of coalition and cut taxes?
I think it's a matter of necessity. Who is going to bludgeon the Freedom Caucus but the people you can bring in from the Democratic side? Otherwise, we're repeating the same thing. If nothing has changed, we'll be in the same position in tax reform as we were in health care reform.
Yes, exactly.
You have to make a change.
Yes.
Yes, you have to make a change.
So he's got to reach out to these conservative Democrats. He's got to do it. Otherwise, what is the definition of insanity according to some geniuses? The same thing over and over, expecting a different outcome. He's got to change. This, you know that movie, All the Right Moves? This particular movie was not all the right moves. Everybody did the wrong thing. I'm telling you, we rushed a bill through with Ryan, who is not, if you look at his background, he is not a legislative heavyweight. We basically didn't have the votes. We didn't have we didn't have consensus, and we jammed it at the last minute.
You know who got it right? John Boehner. He said in his 25 years, he's never seen the Republicans agree on health reform.
Well, he was right. He bit the dust
yes.
with the Freedom Caucus. That's what happened there. Now, we've got Art Laffer still with us, and we've got another story for him in just a moment, and that story is Nigel Farage. Yes, he's the man who led Brexit. He's a frequent guest on this program. Well, he's just returned from California. He wants to split that state in two. What on earth does Nigel Farage have to do with California, for heaven's sake? We will tell you, though, in a moment.
I'm going back to Cali, Cali. I'm going back to Cali, Cali, Cali. I'm going back to Cali, Cali.
Nigel Farage, the gentleman on the left, is the man behind Brexit. Well, now he's working to do something similar in California. Believe it or not, he has raised $1 million to campaign for the state to divide. Art Laffer is with us. Now, Art, when I first saw the story, I thought it was North versus South. That would be the divide. It's not. It's the coastal elites being separated from the internal Imperial Valley poverty-stricken people. It's a rotten idea.
Well, you know, in the original history of California, I don't know if you're aware, Stuart, that was supposed to be 5 or 6 separate states. The reason they made it all one state was because Washington, D.C. did not think they had the ability to send troops out there and protect California from foreign invasion on the West Coast. So therefore, they wanted all these states to have a common defense project. That's why it's one state. Now, dividing the state into 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 parts could make sense. It's first place, it's a large state with no personal politics. When you realize that an assemblyman in the state of California covers almost what a congressman covers in population. I mean, there are 80 assemblymen there with a 36 million person state. So you've got a huge coverage there, which is no personal politics. Well, I would like to see it, but I don't want to make it.
It's not going to happen.
I don't want to make it north-south and have 2 liberal states.
Okay.
If you're going to do it, get all the liberals in one little tiny area, and then make a lot of other states in the conservative area, and then I'm with you 100%.
Okay, hold on a second, Art. Peter Kerner's still with me. Why is the Brexit guy involved in California?
I love British farce. What can I say? I think there is no chance this works. This has not been done since the way people who brought you North and South Dakota. Okay, this ain't happening.
No, it's not.
Peter,
East,
can I
West.
interject here?
Well,
in the same sense, you have Nigel doing that. I mean, what do we have? A Brit doing a business show in the U.S.?
Oh, now you're getting it.
I'm just teasing you, Stuart.
Because he's an
just teasing.
American, okay?
We are.
Don't be messing with Stuart.
Wait a second. Who's supplying Brexit? Who's supplying Farage with the money?
Now, what we've heard is some tech and mostly in the agricultural belt who might benefit here from some state separatism. That's where the money's coming from, from the agricultural side.
And it ain't going to happen. Okay, I think we nailed that one down. All right, thanks, everybody.
By the way,
if
they want to succeed, could we all vote to have them succeed? Is that a
yes,
possibility?
might we would just do that, right? Yeah. Judge Janine Pirro calling on Speaker Ryan to resign in no uncertain terms. Next, we're joined by Paul Ryan's former chief of staff. Will he defend his former boss? This is
Another great
interesting.
song.
Back in a moment.